What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Kenzo for Life here, and today we're going to be talking about my Game of the Year 2025 predictions, my top picks. All right, let's talk about it. Those 4 words that are already dominating every headline and every argument with your friends. Game of the Year. And for 2025, it feels like the story has already been written, doesn't it? We're all supposed to be focused on the Titans, the absolute behemoths. You've got the unstoppable hype train for Monster Hunter Wilds, which is promising to be one of the biggest releases of the year. You've got the Hideo Kojima factor with Death Stranding 2 on the beach, which landed in June and sparked a tidal wave of analysis. And then there's the ghost haunting every conversation, the game everyone's waiting for, Grand Theft Auto 6, which Rockstar says is coming in 2025. But the rumor mill keeps churning about a possible slip into 2026. But what if the real contenders aren't the ones hogging the spotlight? What if the most important, most groundbreaking games of 2025 are being completely overshadowed by marketing budgets? Today, I'm giving you my personal and probably controversial picks for the games that truly deserve the Game of the Year title. I've poured hundreds of hours this year into digging past the obvious choices, and I'm here to make the case for the real champions of 2025. And hey, if you enjoy deep dives that go beyond the hype, think about subscribing. I guarantee you'll find games here that aren't on your radar. Look, let's get this out of the way. The big games are big for a reason. The excitement for Monster Hunter Wilds is off the charts, and for good reason. The promise of a seamless, dynamic open world is a massive step forward for the beloved formula. In Death Stranding 2, it's pure, uncut Kojima. Released on June 26, it doubled down on the weird, the wonderful, and the oddly profound in a way that only he could. These are incredible games. They'll get nominated. They'll probably win a ton of awards, but are they the best? Do they push the medium forward in the way a true Game of the Year should? Or are they just the most polished, most expensive versions of ideas we've already seen? I think the real innovation, the actual heart of gaming in 2025 lies elsewhere. So, let's get to the real list. The games you should have been playing. Coming in at number 5 is a game that had an impossible amount of hype and somehow actually managed to stick the landing. Black Myth Wukong. This isn't on my list because it's perfect. It's not. It's on this list for its sheer breathtaking ambition and its powerful cultural identity. In a sea of Souls-likes, Wukong stands out by being so deeply and authentically Chinese. It's a jaw-dropping Unreal Engine 5 game with some of the most spectacular boss fights you'll see all year. Where a lot of games in this genre feel derivative, Wukong feels like a jolt of fresh energy. The combat can be punishing, but it's fluid and flashy, built around dodging and using a huge toolbox of spells and transformations to exploit enemy patterns. This isn't just another clone. It's like a modern God of War, viewed through a completely different cultural lens. While some technical hiccups hold it back from perfection, its phenomenal art direction and refreshing setting make it one of the most important action games of the year. It's a staggering debut for the studio and absolutely deserves to be in the Game of the Year conversation. Next up, a sequel that does what every great sequel should. It takes the beloved, slightly janky, and fiercely ambitious core of the original and polishes it to a brilliant shine. My number 4 pick is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which launched back on May 15th. The first game was a cult classic, a hardcore RPG that traded accessibility for a level of immersion that was just unheard of. This sequel keeps that hardcore spirit but makes it way more approachable. Henry of Scout's journey continues through 15th century Bohemia in a world that feels more alive and reactive than ever. This isn't a fantasy RPG with dragons. It's a historical epic. You aren't the chosen one. You're just Henry, a guy trying to survive in a brutal world. What makes this a Game of the Year contender is its unwavering commitment to its vision. It's an RPG that respects your intelligence, forcing you to learn its systems and make choices with real consequences. In a year of fantasy spectacle, Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance is a stunningly real and deeply human alternative. My number 3 pick is a game many of you have probably never even heard of. And honestly, that's a crime. Blueprints is without a doubt one of the most innovative games of 2025. It's billed as a first-person puzzle game with roguelike elements, but that doesn't even begin to cover it. It's one of those games that's just impossible to put down. The core idea seems simple at first, but unfolds into staggering layers of complexity. Every single room is a mystery waiting to be solved. The genius of Blueprints is how it blends architectural puzzles with the random progression of a roguelike, creating something that feels totally new. Critics have been raving about its incredible design, and it's sitting at a fantastic 88 on OpenCritic. This is exactly the kind of game the big awards usually ignore. It doesn't have a 9-figure budget or a massive marketing blitz. What it has is a brilliant, singular vision executed with pure confidence. It's a triumph of indie development and one of the best reviewed games of the year for a reason. All right, I know what I said. I know I put this in the usual suspects pile, but hear me out. My number 2 pick, Death Stranding 2, isn't here because of the hype. It's here because, against all odds, Kojima and his team took one of the most divisive games of the last generation and built it into something truly special. And I'd even say emotionally resonant. If the first game was about building connections, this sequel is about maintaining them against impossible odds. The core gameplay of traveling and delivering is still there, but it's been expanded and refined in every single way. The story is even wilder, delving deeper into its bizarre and fascinating world. But the reason it deserves to be a top contender is its sheer unapologetic audacity. This game is completely, utterly itself. It refuses to compromise its vision for mass appeal. And because of that, it delivers an experience you just can't get anywhere else. It's a work of art, warts and all. And its willingness to be strange, thoughtful, and profoundly human makes it a much more interesting Game of the Year candidate than its blockbuster peers. And that brings me to my number 1. The game that, for my money, is the undisputed Game of the Year and my personal favorite. It's not just one of the highest rated new games of the year, it's a flat out masterpiece. My top pick is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This debut from Sandfall Interactive feels like an instant classic. It's a turn-based RPG, a genre many have written off, but it injects the formula with so much style and creativity that it feels revolutionary. The story is a beautiful and heartbreaking look at mortality. Each year, a being called the Paintress erases everyone of a certain age, and you lead the 33rd expedition on a desperate one-year quest to stop her before she erases you. That premise alone is incredible, but the execution is what makes it a legend. The combat is a brilliant mix of turn-based strategy and real-time inputs for parries and dodges, making every single fight engaging. The art is breathtaking, the world is dripping with mystery, and the soundtrack is unforgettable. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is everything a Game of the Year should be. It's artistically brave, mechanically fresh, and emotionally powerful. It's made with such confidence that it stands shoulder to shoulder with the JRPG classics that inspired it. It's not just the best game of 2025, it's an instant classic. It is unequivocally my Game of the Year. But let me know what you think. That's just my list. The Game of the Year conversation is nothing without the community, without all the passion and arguments. So now, I want to hear from you. What are your Game of the Year picks? What are the hidden gems you think deserve more love? Drop them in the comments below. I want your hot takes, your controversial choices, and the games that made 2025 special for you. So, that's my case. While the world stays focused on the biggest names, 2025 has been an incredible year for games that dare to be different. From the brutal beauty of Black Myth Wukong to the historical depth of Kingdom Come 2, and from the indie brilliance of Blueprints to the absolute triumph of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the real story of this year is about creativity and courage. Game of the Year shouldn't be a popularity contest. It should be a celebration of the games that push boundaries, tell unforgettable stories, and leave a real mark on us. And for my money, these are the games that did just that. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay frosty.